Today I want to take a closer look at this animation. You'll see that the top and bottom are virtually the same with a small difference. And what I want to point out is that if I stop in the middle here, you'll notice that all of these characters, as they're semi-transparent, sort of cause this visual mess here, okay? And the reason for that is because the first animation here has the opacity, Y, and scale all happening at the same time with the same duration. To be clear, the timeline has a default duration of 1 second for every tween. However, the bottom two tweens here control the bottom animation, and you'll see that the Y and scale are in a separate tween from the opacity. It has a much shorter duration, but since they have the same stagger amount, they line up perfectly. And if I were to scroll back to the beginning, just notice how long it takes for the top T to fade in, whereas the bottom one comes in much quicker. And same for each character. All the ones in the bottom come in very quick, while the ones above just sort of lag behind in their opacity. So for something like this, I do prefer having the opacity in a separate tween. However, if I was to go ahead and take the scaling out, I'm just going to set it to a default of 1. Now this one actually looks pretty cool, all right? I don't mind that slow fade. It looks nice. And you may think that the bottom one looks too much like a typewriter effect and maybe it's too abrupt. So the point here is that you don't always have to separate the opacity, but sometimes it will help, all right? And if you have long animations that cover a long distance of motion, I find that having them fade in the entire time can look kind of poor. So taking the extra 20 seconds to create a separate tween for the opacity often pays off. But again, there's no hard set rule, and it can all come down to a matter of preference. I'm going to go back ahead and change this scale to be 2 again so that you can see how it was initially, and you can compare there. Again, it just seems like it takes way too long for those things to fade in while they're overlapping. And if we pause real quick, I want to show you though, if I change the default duration of the timeline down to something like 0.3, you probably wouldn't have much of a problem with it. And again, that looks pretty cool too. So there's so much you can do to make subtle changes to your animations, and I just want to point out that in some cases it's nice to have the duration or maybe even some other properties in separate tweens. You don't have to slam them all into one. So I hope you enjoyed this little quick tip. I got the file here for you to explore. Have some fun with it. Hey everybody, have you heard the news about GSAP? It's now GSAP for everyone. All plugins are free. Draw SVG, split text, scroll smoother, inertia, physics 2D, all the stuff that you love about GSAP is now free. No more per user costs, recurring payments, file sharing concerns, private repositories, licensing confusion, no restrictions. Use whatever you want. And to celebrate, I'm offering all my training for only 49 bucks. I don't know how long it's gonna last, but this is amazing. You have to check out GSAP if you've ever wanted to learn it. Now is the time. The great folks at Webflow and GreenSock are giving you everything, all right? No more premium fees, no more memberships. Just use all their wonderful tools, and it's amazing. So check it out, and I hope to celebrate more with you. See you in the club.